3, 2, 1. What is up? We are live, everybody. We're here. It's Tuesday night. I gotta say what's up to a few people in the room already. William Riley, Christy Connor, Emma. What up, Emma? I can't see that. BMR Tiger, Stan Golden. My mom's in there, and
Mom, what up, Mom?
We got a special guest in the building tonight. We're gonna get into some real talk again. You're watching Young Lion TV. Let's go.
Young lion, everywhere I look, they dying. Everywhere I look, they dying. Young lion, everywhere I look, they dying. Everywhere I look, they dying. Young lion, won't you get up and stop fighting? Everywhere I look, they're hiding.
All right. We're back. We're live. What's up, everybody? Real quick, we're going to do a song to start off the stream. We did it last week. We did Young Lion, and a lot of people liked it. So we're going to do another song, one of our oldies but goodies. But before we do, I want to thank everybody who's checking in already. Paul says, what's up, fellas? What's up, Paul?
What up, Paul?
Stephanie said, hey, what's up, Stephanie? Everybody that's watching, please share the video. Please, just give it a thumbs up and a share so that we can get more traction. And also, Patreon, subscribe to the YouTube, all that good stuff. All right. Let's just get into a little something. This song is called Burn.
Under cover of our facades, hoping no one ever sees us for who we really are. People running around in circles, doing what we can to survive, trying to live up to this image they've been pushing all our lives. Cause it's a sad, sad day when you see you've been getting in your own way. Yeah, it's a lonely life when there's nothing left worth fighting for. So burn it all down, cause I'm breaking my way out through these walls that I've made. Yeah, they've been getting in my way. So let it burn to the ground, let it burn all around me, let it burn everything that I thought I knew, so I can find me. Ever words lost their meaning, cause we've heard it all before. Have our senses been depleted, going numb from overload? What if God was standing on the corner? Would everybody just walk on by? Too concerned with where we were going that we never noticed, and crying for this sad, sad day. Don't you see you've been getting in your own way? Yeah, it's a lonely life when there's nothing left worth fighting for. So burn it all down, cause I'm breaking my way out through these walls that I've made. Yeah, they've been getting in my way. So let it burn to the ground, let it burn all around me, let it burn everything that I thought I knew, so I can find me, so I can find me. Yeah, yeah. Morning glory, You're my only story. Take me back where I began. Yeah. Sun, revive me. Free this soul inside me. Let me feel your light again. Yeah. Morning glory. You're my only story. Take me back where I began. Sun, revive me. Free this soul inside me. Let me feel your light again. Morning glory. You're my only story. Take me back where I began. Oh yeah. Sorry, revive me. Free this soul inside me. Let me feel your light again.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Let's get into it.
He does this all the time.
Cool.
I hit you with the guitar.
Almost.
We need more.
He
we
did
need
that.
more room.
We shot a video called "By the River."
Yeah.
Right? As we're filming and we do a scene. It was in the cave, right?
Yes.
And I was walking right behind him. He turns like this.
I had the guitar on my back.
Oh man.
Yeah, and it hit him. I think we have a behind the scenes footage of that.
Yeah,
you had
yeah,
you had like a welt on your head for a little bit.
Man.
It's all good.
I know. That's just me just going and not looking at what I'm doing. Thank you guys. A lot of people in the chat, Adam said this is fire. Jorge said yes. So well written, of course, said Christy. Mom said it's beautiful. Cool. Yeah, that's a song that we
Thank you,
do
guys.
at our
Thank
shows.
you, Adam.
When the shows start opening up, we'll let you guys know. You can come see us live. But this evening we have a special guest back in the building. We got Chuck the Hammer back with us.
The Hammer.
So I mean, you were sitting there. You had to sit there and wait for us to finish that song. He was sitting there.
I was like, man, part of me wants to jump in. I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna remember.
Pull that mic up close to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, get it up in there. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. So I'm guessing you didn't get in too much trouble last time you were on the show, since you were able to come back.
Not yet. Yeah, everything was good.
I know you was worried like we was gonna get a little conspiratorial.
I ended up leaving. I'm like, man, I wish we got a little bit more into it. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, maybe we could do that. Maybe we'll do that tonight, man.
Maybe. We'll see.
But how you been, man? Look, tell the people what you've been going through.
Guys, I survived COVID-19.
Yeah,
we didn't tell Rachel.
Chuck was out the loop. Chuck was out the loop for a minute. Had that Rona.
Yeah.
It was terrible. I've never had a virus where I was able to be productive in life. They're telling you you're sick, and then they're like, you're going to get everybody else sick. And I did. I got, out of 9 people that I came in contact with, all 9 of them got tested. All 9 of them had COVID as well.
Wow.
And the biggest thing was like for like 3 family members, like sinus congestion, felt like allergies. But other than that, we were literally all like, yo, this is it. Like,
Wow.
It really wasn't that bad at all. I mean, you might need a little extra sleep. You're a little tired in the morning, but other than that, I mean, I had to stay home from work for like 2 weeks. So
right.
I've been remodeling my attic, so I got that done.
You got that done
while
you were sick.
It's all while I was sick.
Right. Well, I mean, I think now that the data is kind of like really, really coming in. They're realizing. I saw the numbers that the survival rate is like above 99%.
For all
99.
for all ages.
Yeah, like 65 plus. I saw something that was like 99.96.
Right.
Yeah.
Even so.
And I think like 70 and up, it was like 94%.
Yeah. Total, I think it's 99.8.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
even the numbers. I'm
Go ahead,
sorry.
go ahead.
I just saw Steven Crowder, and I know he can be a little biased, but he did some digging on like Michigan, the state of Michigan, the numbers, because the people that passed a lot of them were nursing homes and elderly and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He found out that they only the numbers from the state of Michigan was only 10% of all the nursing homes and the 50 plus. So why are they doing that though?
I mean, I find it very, very convenient that a lot of these governors that were very adamant about like shutting down everything and really grabbed onto this idea of power, they were the ones like actively ushering sick people into nursing homes to get their numbers up. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like that's a real thing that happened. It happened in Michigan, it happened in New York. And a lot.
And you hear how he's talking now.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
New York.
Oh, he's saying it didn't happen. It's a lie. He didn't do that.
Yeah, but I mean, even with like the vaccine, he's saying that everybody's getting it.
Yeah,
We're gonna be the state that does it.
yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Good luck with that, man. Like, man, I feel bad for people that live in those. I mean, New Jersey's bad enough.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of these states.
But New York's on another level compared to New
I mean,
Jersey.
Michigan too, because Gretchen, they just went to the wouldn't the Supreme Court just ruled that her lockdown was unconstitutional?
Yeah, but she's but she's saying that pretty much F your laws, and she's ruling against.
Well, she said, because technically you have 21 days to appeal it. So she's saying like, well, I'm still going to lock everything down for 21 more days. Like, I don't care what their ruling was. You know what I mean? Which is crazy. Like, and if other states follow that, whereas like the lockdown was unconstitutional, man, it's going to be a lot of lawsuits. It's going to be a lot of people mad.
Well, I know they already won for high school sports because they were going and like arresting coaches and finding them and stuff like that.
Wow.
For practicing and everything.
Yeah,
in Michigan.
Yeah, in Michigan. Yeah, and Michigan and New Jersey were apparently two of the like main causes that Big Ten football got canceled. Actually,
Wow.
It was like Rutgers throwing their hat in the ring. Like, who cares if you guys ain't playing? Like, come on now. But Michigan was like all about it too. And like now that they're going to be playing in like 2 weeks now. Big Ten football is going to be back. They just want to be able to say like Trump canceled football, basically.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Because
Real quick before y'all go on, I got a couple comments. Sarah Ashley says, one of you were my Uber driver years ago. Thanks for telling me about the music. I'm assuming that was you,
definitely
Jake.
me.
That was definitely you. What's up? Thank you for checking in. And Adam Field said, me too. I think he was talking about surviving COVID.
He did have COVID, yeah.
He's a fellow survivor.
Good for you. Yep, strength in numbers.
They need
strength in numbers.
And Stephanie said, Corona is still the same virus that causes the common cold. This is just the 2019 version. I mean, that's the thing. It's like information is so all over the place, man. And now the fact that the president has it. What were you about to say, though?
back to what Chuck was saying about how, with the Big Ten and stuff like that, because he brags about that. He
football back.
He brought football back, and that's
right.
I feel like that's why they want to cancel that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like the Big Ten, like that's a whole bunch of just gigantic swing states, and it's a matter of like basically they wanted to all come off on him. His response time was bad. We had to cancel football. Like look, everything that we love and care about, we had to cancel, and it's something that brings people together, and he doesn't want that, and it goes into all that.
Yeah. But then you see what happens. One school says no, we're not going to cancel ours, and then the rest of them are like, yeah, us either. You know what I mean? It's like,
and like with them putting it off this long, like these are like there's hundreds of millions of dollars that is made off of college football in these bigger conferences,
right?
And there's several schools where to keep everything canceled or even just delaying, they had to cancel. Like, not only did they cancel their fall sports, but they have to cancel sports for the rest of the year. They even had to do away with a couple of programs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's pay cuts for assistants and, strength and conditioning coaches. Everyone's getting pay cuts on top of that, and then they're completely doing away with other programs. Like, it might be like equestrian, volleyball, whatever, like the ones that are less popular, they're doing away with them because it's the football that funds a lot of the other sports.
Right. And just imagine how many, lives that's affecting. Kids' futures. And
the biggest thing that bothers me is they're talking about it so unsafe for these kids to play. If you're going to do it and do it with no fans or whatever, that's fine. But I mean, I know from experience the people that I played with, like, and it's this way all over the country. And the kids that you're getting, it's their ticket out. A lot of kids, like,
right.
it's what kept them out of trouble. It's what, you know, it's what they're passionate about, what they feel good about, and it was their ticket to get out of their situation. And then you're saying it's safer, you know, for you to not play football. Go back to your own situation where social distancing usually isn't happening, and you know everything from these kids are in like the lower class cities where there's gun violence, gang violence, everything like that. You're saying they're safer going back to that than it being on campus where they're going to be tested a couple times a week.
Right.
Yeah.
What was that you brought up, Rach?
Just like colleges that were canceling.
Oh, okay.
And, like a list of that, and just like news coverage of that.
Right.
Like Morehouse and Ivy Leagues, and like a lot of colleges that have substantial sports income.
Right. But they'd rather it benefits them more just to oppose the president, I guess.
Do that, and then Sleepy Joe's gonna bail you out.
Right. That's what they're looking for. Like all of these states that had these lockdowns and then had riots, now they want to get bailed out by the federal government.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. But I want to get back to your experience, like officially having it and having to go through, you know, because there's so much fear out there. There's so much misinformation, and I know it affects everybody different. But just from your perspective, like what was when you did you find out someone else had it and you were in close proximity, so you had to get tested? Is that how it worked?
Yeah, so I came into contact with somebody that I work with.
Through work.
And he had smoked for, I think it was like 29 years or something like that. He had smoked and has all their health issues and stuff like that. So he ended up like going on oxygen in the hospital for like 7 days.
Wow.
And he ended up being fine, but it like got spread around my work actually. And I told my wife that it happened. She's like, "You better go get tested."
Yeah.
I'm like, "All right." Like, and the funniest part is, like, I have to wear a mask all the time at work, and I definitely had a mask on when I was in contact with this person, but I got it. So,
right. That's the other weird thing is like the effectiveness of the masks and everything. Everyone is like so mask. And
I said that to the contact tracers when they called, and they were like, "Well, was it a brand new mask? Did you reuse it? Has this been a multi-use mask? Where do you store it? Is it in a Ziploc bag between use?" I was just like, "What?
Who does that?
Right.
Who in the like everyone's pulling out these cloth masks that they put in their pocket and pull out. You know what I mean? Like and at that point it's already contaminated.
The Department of Health thinks that it's like we have this special compartment,
right?
In a bag,
hyperbaric
like,
chamber.
Mine's on the floor in the back of my truck somewhere. I gotta like dig around and try and find it. That's all of us, though, I feel like.
But that's what most people are doing. So it's like the concept that like and it's funny how you see these news stories where it's like, oh, these people gathered at such and such a place, and many of them without masks. It's like they're just trying to get everyone so in fear. But so you found out someone at your job had it, and it spread around your job. Did anybody get like really, really, really sick?
The one guy that already has a lot of health issues, he was the only one.
Okay.
The other people they're not in the best of health at all, and they had like minor symptoms. It was only like a fever for like a day or so, but
right?
Like not really high, and then they had the aches to go with it. But it only lasted like 3 or 4 days for them, they said.
Right.
I actually didn't really have anything at all. I remember literally getting the email that my results were in, and I checked it, and I literally just gotten out of the shower, and I remember like I was just in like disbelief. I'm like I walked in, and we had this trip in like 2 weeks planned to stay in Pennsylvania on this lake. And with a couple other like couples and their kids and everything like that, it was gonna be awesome. And then I'm like, I have COVID. It's just like shut up. It's like you're kidding. I'm like, no, I'm dead serious. I have COVID.
So did you
how
you immediately become like the pariah of the family? Like no one wanted to be around you.
God. Yeah.
I just imagine the moment.
Everyone thinks they're gonna die now if they've been in contact with you. Like
my brother's girlfriend's son, they like he's like really active and always doing stuff, and they just took video of him, and he's like in the back seat of the car, and he's sitting there like bummed out, and they're like, why can't we have fun anymore or do anything? You know, who ruined it for us? And he's like, effing Chucky. I was like dying. But like that was the craziest part. Like the contact tracers, they call every day, sometimes multiple times a day.
Wow.
And they talk about like site visits, like you know, making sure that you're taking all the precautions. They wanted us to wear masks in the house, even though we all had it.
Mm-hmm.
They want us to wear masks, not eat in the same room, like eat in separate rooms. I'm like don't do anything together.
Right,
like
right.
we all have it. Like, can you make it worse for each other? It's just staying here, like, and
no, we just want to control you.
And if I tried to ask questions, I was getting like a whole bunch of pushback. And
wow,
attitude.
really?
Yeah,
sir, you've already got it. You're already irresponsible.
They wanted a list. I said they wanted a list of names and phone numbers of everyone I came in contact with, and they were going to reach out to them. I said I already notified everybody. I'm not giving you names and numbers.
No, what they were going to do is add them to the list of people that have it, because that's what they've been doing.
Exactly.
You give them a list of people that you've been around, and they add that to the
You
total
didn't give
number.
him my number.
No,
I didn't get a call.
Dude, it literally felt like shaming. As soon as it happened, they were just calling constantly, and it's like, you came in contact. Well, were you not following the procedures? Were you not following the steps? What about in the house? Are you doing this? You come in contact with this? Okay, so you're not going to be leaving the house for 14 days, right? I was like, yeah. They're like,
That's confusing too.
And they were like,
who did you vote for?
groceries?
Like, they're gonna ask you that. Who did you vote
Sir.
for?
But you
So
know
who
they're
are you
coming out
voting
now
for?
with like, it's 10 days.
Yeah.
This is confusing.
Yeah.
So now,
that happened literally like a week and a half after this my 14.
I think they
days.
say 10 to 14 days.
No, now they're just saying
10
10.
days.
They're saying
They're just
10
saying
days.
10 now?
Yeah.
And the doctor that originally called me with the results told me 10 days, but that like he's like, they're saying 10 days, they're saying 14 days. It all depends. Some people are preferring 10, some people are saying 14. I think you'll be fine in 10. It all comes down to a negative retest. So I was like, okay. And like the contact tracers, it was like they're volunteers for the most part, and they're like, that doctor was incorrect. What is his name? I'm like, we're not getting into this.
Whoa.
We're not getting into
Wow.
this. So it was crazy, but it was like literally like, all right, well, you're part of the problem that all this is going on right now. That's what it felt like.
Wow.
They were just calling me, being like, do this, don't leave the house. And then they're like, do you have like enough groceries to stay in the house for like 14 days? I'm like, no, definitely not. And they were like, well, there's pickup services. Maybe you can have somebody pick them up. I thought they were gonna like offer to like get the groceries. No, they're just like
They're just giving you options.
They're just
they're just giving you options.
shame.
And it was so weird because I didn't say nothing, and like my entire neighborhood knew. Like when I was taking the trash out, and it was like like people from the steps. Like it was so awkward. Like I literally felt like
They're looking at you like, how dare you leave
like
your
it
house?
felt like I was like this like registered sex offender just moving into the neighborhood. Like I was walking, it was just like dead man walking. Like I was just like taking the trash out. It's like I'm fine. They're like, is everything okay? I'm like, I'm fine. I'm good. We're staying inside for everybody else, but I'm good. Okay, are you sure? Okay.
Because the media has created this whole hysteria. They're like, if you get it, you're gonna die. Like that's how people feel.
And you're gonna make other people sick.
Right.
So I gave it to 9 people, and then that's coming up too. Like, I'm like, oh well, I after you got tested, did you do anything? I said, yeah, I went to work the following day. You went to work the following day? It's just like, well, do you have any idea how many people you've probably passed it to? And like this, like,
The same people you
you're
were
supposed to
around.
start quarantining at the day of the test until you get your results. I'm like, work's not paying me to stay home. And I had to use I have no PTO days for the rest of the year. I had to use all PTO. It's like, man, this is nuts.
Yeah, and I think a lot of, like, I was just talking to Rachel about this the other day. Like, a lot of the programming of why people feel the way they do comes from years of like movies, Hollywood, seeing Contagion and Outbreak, and like that programming starts at an early age, and then you see something like this, and it's like, now's your chance to live it out. You know what I mean? And people just feed into that. Like, oh, this is going to be like Outbreak, you know, or like some movie that creates zombies or the zombie apocalypse. It's like,
Walking Dead.
So this was something that I was actually like reading into recently, where it's the way the media portrays things and stuff like that. It's a form of, you guys ever hear the Delphi technique?
no.
Delphi technique. So the definition is a method of group decision making and forecasting that involves successfully collating the judgments of experts. It dives deep into the psychology, and like basically it kind of goes back to how we were talking about with advertising, like the McDonald's song. They were putting that stuff in our heads for like years beforehand. They're getting you ready for what they want you to conceive as normal.
Right.
That's part of this Delphi technique.
Right. So right now, we don't even know what this whole like wear a mask, socially distance, what this psychologically is prepping us for, you know, in the future. Attempting to, right.
What cracks me up is how the mask wasn't. I mean, there's clips of Fauci saying it, that the mask, there's no need to wear the mask. The mask is going to help from it. And like, what does the mask do more than anything? It keeps you from communicating with people, because uncomfortable is going to move around on your face, and you're already having issues breathing as it is, and everybody wants to get out of the public space they're in so they can take the thing off. So it's keeping people from talking to themselves, really.
Well, he
like
changed his mind on that, Chuck.
Yeah.
I don't know if you are aware.
He found
the experts have changed their minds.
Senator, I never said that.
Senator,
you're wrong.
You're wrong. You know what's funny is like it's hilarious now, like how, you know, if you brought up any of that stuff, or if you bring up any of the other ideas, if you talk about the anybody who, the interview that Tucker did with the lady from China, got removed from YouTube, you know, got banned. She got banned from Twitter. If you talk about any of those things, you talk about China, you talk about the lab, like you're in danger of being banned or silenced. But now that Trump has it, and his doctors, who are supposed to be the experts that we listen to, are saying, oh no, we treated him, he's good now, he's, you know, and everyone is just spiraling, going crazy. We can't trust these people. We can't listen to them. They're lying to us.
And here's what was crazy, but Moon, did I not predict exactly what was going to happen?
Did you?
Yep.
I texted Moon,
I
said, call me crazy, but I think this is genius. I said,
you think he's doing it to show that he beat it? Because he came out and what did he say?
I don't think he's all about strength and like integrity. He's not going to go to Walter Reed, unless he's trying to like really make a statement. Like there has to be a reason for him to.
You see now they're trying to defund Walter Reed.
Yeah,
Real? Are you serious?
Yes. Yeah. See if you can find.
He's the president.
Someone tweeted something about that.
It's ridiculous. Like they're. I said to Moon. I said, man, call me crazy, but I think this is something where it's just going to be what gives him the edge in his campaign. He's going to come out and say, listen, I had it. I'm at that high-risk age group, and I got over it real quick. It really wasn't that bad. Like, we can beat this. And like, kind of like just really, like, bring people together. Guys, listen, we can beat this together. It's not as bad as you think. Open this country up.
But they're already... I think they're already counting on that. Is that the tweet there talking about defund Walter Reed?
Yeah,
and these are like blue checkmark people on Twitter. You know what I mean? Like the verified journalists and stuff. Yeah. They're going crazy. They're going nuts. And then
I sent it to Moon. It was a quote from him saying, "I feel better than I have in 20 years." I said, "Bro, you're doing it."
And he said, like, I want people to know, like, not to be afraid of this thing. Like,
and he's also to be able to say, "I was just taking a therapeutic.
Therapeutic
works." Like.
But now the whole angle is he's lying, they're lying, we can't trust them. You know what I mean?
And then isn't it funny how the vaccine was going to be the best thing ever, and then as long as it was with someone else releasing it, not Trump getting the credit
Gates.
for it. They don't want Trump getting the credit for it. They didn't want it to be out before the election.
Right.
And now that it's looking like it's going to be out before the election, possibly, or like around it, now they're like, you're better off just wearing a mask.
The
vaccine's not going to be that great.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
Anything Trump does.
They conveniently turned into anti-vaxxers real quick.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's not even Trump. It's the companies, Johnson and Johnson, and what Pfizer?
Johnson,
Yeah.
Stephanie Hollum says, yes, media is spreading fear, and I believe it was planted. I mean, there's no truth. I mean, there's no evidence, but
there's
it's
no way of knowing.
weird.
There's no way
it's
of
kind of
knowing.
weird.
And it's weird that like everyone in his cabinet is getting it now. Everyone in his circle.
It's weird how it went down, how it played out, the timing and everything.
Yeah,
definitely.
What's weird is I know somebody. It's my wife's friend that she studied epidemiology in college. So she works for the Center of Infectious Disease at Yale University.
Okay.
And she was saying that like they basically confirmed that this is man-made.
Oh,
It was from like the SARS vaccine, and they mutated it to use it as a vaccine for bronchitis. Like, bronchitis isn't really killing nobody. I don't know why you would have a vaccine
Why
for
would you?
bronchitis.
Right. Why would you need that?
And not to mention, like bronchitis is a disease in the lungs. What are you going to do with a vaccine that's going to improve lung function?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
weird. It's really weird.
That's what
that Chinese lady.
the Chinese lady that came out. She said that it's like
She
what
did.
was that, a
She
Frankenstein
She released a
of,
letter on it.
She said it's like monkey hand,
Yeah.
cow, cow head. It was
Yeah.
cow head horse.
Yeah. But no,
you can only do that.
but she totally she started talking. She released a letter, whole paper on it, and she worked for the CCP in some way, right? She worked for their. She was an epidemiologist over there, and she basically is a whistleblower, just coming out saying like they're doing this on purpose to y'all. This is her words, okay, Facebook. So like, don't try to ban us. I'm just saying what she's saying, that they're doing this on purpose and that it was man-made.
Right.
And then she got immediately banned from Twitter. The video that Tucker did with her got banned, and it's just weird. It's funny that, and she's claiming she has all the information to back it up,
Like if anyone's looking for proof out there that there's bigger pieces to the puzzle behind the scenes, like CDC is the gold standard for everything. Like whatever their guidelines and recommendations are out, that's it. They put out a statement saying that only 9,000 people actually died from just the disease alone.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't find that article no more.
They got rid of it.
Yeah. So it was.
We showed it on here one week.
If you shared it on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, it was like a fact check thing that would come with it, saying that like this doesn't go with the WHO. It's
right.
like, hold on, it used
But
to
I thought we were listening to the CDC. Now, they keep
They're
moving.
experts.
They keep moving the goalposts.
Yeah. Yep.
Every time someone comes out with something that doesn't match the narrative, it keeps changing. Who we're supposed to listen to, and they wonder why people are.
And that's where you can, if people are paying attention and want the truth, because some people just don't want the truth. They want to.
They want their team to be right.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you look at it, like, if Trump had an agenda, it would have went a different way.
Right.
Mm-hmm. He's like, you can't always be hopeful when you have an agenda, because you gotta push it a certain way. What's up?
No, Paul said the Rona didn't even want old Joe. That's funny. I don't think Joe could survive it.
Joe looks bad, Joe. He looks bad to me.
Joe, man, he had another couple doozies over the last few days where he was at speaking things, just stumbling over his words, man.
Did you see the one where he's doing an interview with somebody like from like 60 Minutes or something like that? And he's like, "Oh, hold on, I lost that line." And
Yeah.
Man,
He was like, back that up.
He said that?
Yes.
And they played it?
It was. They're sitting across from each other. It's supposed to look like and he's sitting there going like this, and then he's just like, "Oh wait, hold on, I lost that one on the teleprompter."
Yeah. And it's just crazy how the bar is so low. Like, people hate Trump so much, or they've been trained to hate Trump so much that there could literally be a cat standing on the podium next to him meowing the whole time, and they would be like, he beat Trump in the debate. You know what I mean? Like, they would literally be like, I'll vote for the cat. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's been so crazy.
What's weird too is Trump ended up, apparently having it after his event in New Jersey at one of his golf
Yes.
courses.
Yeah.
Right.
And this was something where Governor Murphy was real vocal about he didn't want this trip happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He didn't want this going on. He was totally against it and fought and fought and fought. And then all of a sudden, it's this big, COVID scare now.
Yeah, I saw it on the news. I saw him doing his interview. It was just, they were talking about everything bad.
You said that to me? Oh, okay.
They had a
Give it to her on her so she
buffet,
can
which
pull it up.
is against the rules
Against
or
social gathering and shit.
yeah.
Everyone's handing the pot and all that.
That's right. It was 6%. My bad. So it was 6% of the deaths were.
Paul Horner says it looked to me like he was wearing a wire during the debate.
Oh yeah, I
he
saw
definitely
that.
had an
I saw-
earpiece.
No, did you see the
Clip
thing?
where
Did
he,
you see the thing in his
messing
wrist?
around.
Yeah, there was something going on.
Something was
yeah.
going on
Yeah.
there. Stan said, or the mask box. The mask box. It says may protect, not will protect. Yeah, on the mask box. Stephanie said, and he still got it wrong. I don't know what that's.
talking about Joe.
And Todd said, you guys are switched on. Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm just tired of being lied to by all these news outlets. What's this right here?
What's that?
Oh, okay.
Did COVID-19 cause only 6%?
Is that the fact check article?
But it says yes, it did.
It says,
94, all 100% of people affected were killed. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Prove the 94 did contribute.
Yeah. Oh man, it's
Only 6% was actually just COVID.
yeah. 6% was just COVID listed as the death, but then the other 94 had either two or more comorbidities.
Yeah.
And
I heard somebody try to break this down,
I saw
like-
it too. A doctor, yeah.
and like people are stupid, and it was just like, dude, you're not making any sense. Like,
Dude, did you see the Michelle Obama thing that she
no.
just
No.
did?
About
The
her
video.
having a-
Can we find it?
No.
Chucker.
No. She just did a video. She just did a video on Twitter. I saw it on Twitter where she was just talking about, trying to get people to vote for Joe Biden. It was her endorsement video for Joe Biden.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you saw that,
yeah.
and she's just like, people made memes out of it because she's talking about how like there's really no violence at these peaceful protests,
Yeah.
and the numbers, the statistics bear it out, and so like people turned the green screen behind her into like all of the footage from the riots while she's talking.
Yeah, everything burned.
Yeah.
Can we see it?
See if you can find that. But it was funny because it's like, dude, the way she's talking, they literally think we're stupid. They literally think that people are idiots.
and that's the problem, man.
Yeah.
Like, you just see it. Like, they're talking to you like nobody's paying attention to anything.
Yeah.
They're just eating all or drinking all the Kool-Aid. I wanted to. I wish Rachel had a mic.
I know. Let me get her a mic.
I wanted to talk to her about like
Look
what's been
at her
going-
face.
She's like, uh-oh.
No.
Ruh-roh. What are you getting me into, Jake?
How it's been going in Philly, right? Because it's been kind of crazy in Philly lately. And it's funny because we're in Camden. We're right over the bridge. Camden used to be the worst city in America at one point. It's a lot better now. But it's calm, peaceful. You don't have any issues. But you go to Philly and it's like a whole nother world.
Yeah, man.
I
I was just telling Jamie over the break about how at Kyle's store, the Kyle that was on here before, somebody just got shot just in the parking lot.
Oh, wow.
15 clips, yo.
Wow.
15 rounds. 15 rounds.
And where's that?
One clip
They emptied the whole
in
place.
South Philly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and shootings have gone up a lot.
Yeah, man.
In Philly. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, violence has gone up a lot. And it has to do, like, I'm trying to wait for her because I want to really let her talk about it. But people, like what Trump was talking about, like law and order, what he was talking about on the debate.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have law and order, there's no it's like a dad in a house who's not
Just letting kids do anything.
not
And
laying
then-
down the law. You know what I mean? The kids are gonna take advantage. They're gonna put their foot up. Oh, can I go here? Look at you, Dad. Can I? Oh, you're not saying nothing.
Yeah.
All right, let me go a little further. Like that's what kids do. You know,
Or you try to tell them something and they don't care and they just throw a fit, which is happening now.
and then you're like, just do it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Because people don't want to deal with it. But if you're not firm and you don't lay down those laws, then they feel like they can kind of stretch. And that's what you're seeing in a lot of these cities. They're not.
Remember how Biden couldn't say law and order during his debate?
Yeah,
He
right.
couldn't say.
Right.
Yeah.
Or he couldn't name one police organization that supports.
Yep.
Stan said shot 15 times, 21-year-old at Lowe's parking lot.
I didn't want to say
Wow.
My bad.
But-
He wrote it in the chat. So.
It's probably in the news.
It is in the news.
So Rachel, how's it been in Philly?
Yeah, it's weird.
Are you
It's
on?
weird right now. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Check.
we
Yeah.
got you.
Okay.
You might need a little more gain.
Okay.
That white one at the top there.
Hello.
Are you allowed to say that? The white one.
Check. Okay. So yeah, it's real wild right now. Like there's a weird like hot air. You know what I'm saying? That's like
So you feel it in the air.
yeah. I was talking to Jimmy about that the other day and saying we need to like
Pray.
We need to pray out there.
We need
Yeah.
to like be conscious and really pay attention and maybe even try and be conscious of like what's going on here, like you were just saying in this city, and like bringing some of that back to Philly because it's like unsafe right now. Like I've never felt unsafe in Philly walking down the street in my life.
And you've lived there your whole life.
My whole life in all different neighborhoods in, you know what I'm saying? Like Italian neighborhoods, black neighborhoods, white neighborhoods, heavily influenced with
Cambodian?
Asians and all, all the moons people. Like I've never felt unsafe, like ever. And now it feels unsafe. It feels like there's like a restlessness and a recklessness that people are kind of like living in. So yeah, kind of scary.
Well, and I heard somebody pooped in your.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, man. Yeah, like right behind.
Chuck's
And
like,
so-
Chuck's like, what?
He's like, what? So the building that I'm in is connected to other buildings, and it's right in Queen Village, and it's in a really good school district in Philly, and there's multiple buildings on our block that are all for child services, art, music, all kinds of different things like that. There's kids walking these streets all the time. So behind the back of my building, which is directly next to a karate school, there's some trash that gets picked up, but it's a sort of desolate area that we've been trying to put plants and beautify and make it so that people don't kind of just go back there and do various things when they're coming off of the South Street area, drugs and other things that shouldn't be done.
Somebody just said, Stephanie just said, we need a camera your way, but
Yeah, so
you don't want to be on camera.
on camera here. No, I need a camera in my house. That's what I was saying. I need a camera out back of my house.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's becoming to a point where I haven't really seen the city and it's not the worst, right? Like there's other places right now that are in a way worse state, and literally stuff is on fire.
But you
and
still
has been for 100 days
Right.
or more.
But you still feel the effects.
It's the worst that I've seen it in my lifetime, as far as homelessness and people being really lost and broken and not given any more flying leaps about anything because who cares? You know what I'm saying? The police aren't a presence like they used to be. There's no fear of
because their hands are kind of tied, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're all nervous and ready to retire or sue or it's palpable.
Pretty much quit.
Exactly. Give up because what else can you do?
Yeah.
So
it's hard for them to do their
kind of
job.
like confusion.
Yeah, it's chaos. I feel like it's a little bit chaotic right now, and it's only gonna get worse because of the uncertainty that is coming. There's not gonna be a clear cut. You know what I'm saying? I don't foresee a clear cut thing happening over the next 2 months where it's gonna be okay. all is said and done, it's not going to work like that. It's going to be continued to be confusing, and that trickles all the way down.
There's definitely like a widespread like paranoia. Everyone knows that we're not getting the whole truth. They just don't know how to convey that. And this is a time where they're trying to keep people away from any types of like gatherings and stuff like that. So there's no chance for people to really talk with each other. Like it's basically everyone knows that we're not getting the whole scoop. I think, and
I think more and more
very
people are starting to
uneasy.
know.
And like there's people that are just kind of like forming their own opinions or stuff like that. It's scary out there right now, though.
Yeah, so there's a fear there.
It's like that comment said earlier, like the fear is being pumped, and it's kind of like it's working. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's restless, not off put.
Right.
Can't quite get themselves like steady. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Paul said, time to team up, stock up, train up. I mean, it's time to really come together and start praying out in these streets, man. It's like we really got to use that power. You know what I mean? That's the only way we're going to see things change. Because you could kill a bunch of people, and then all it's going to do is embolden them even more. And then they want to arm themselves and train up more. And
Right, and that's where like you can't fight fire with fire.
Yeah.
You know, because somebody thinks a certain way. You know, it's not about politics. It's about the truth. It's about in love. You know what I mean? Not just truth, but truth in love. Because, the Bible says love casts out all fear. So maybe that makes some sense. And, you know, if we believe it, we can pray into that. You don't just go out there and try to do something.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be sent.
you end up like the what is it? NFAC boys. Did y'all see that? They was out there. They was it's like a black militia group, black separatist group, but they was out there. I think it was in Atlanta, and they were all out there with their guns. It was like a couple hundreds of them, but somebody accidentally discharged their weapon and shot someone in the leg.
Oh my
It was like, the video's online.
Or you know, a more high profile case, Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
You know, he just went out there just because, you know.
I mean, that was a straight up if you look at the video that the lawyers put out.
Yeah, his lawyers, right?
Yeah, that was a straight up like they wanted to get him. I mean, the dudes that he ended up getting it with, especially the first guy, he was setting shit on fire, and like I know he set a dumpster on fire and was pushing it towards a gas station when someone who was dressed like Kyle Rittenhouse went up with a fire extinguisher and put the fire out. So then later on,
he had beef with him. And he thought it was,
so later on, the dude was still setting fires, and Kyle was wearing a similar outfit, and he was running around with a fire extinguisher as well, putting out fires. So then he was like, I'm gonna get this guy, and he confronted him, and then like they got into it. He tried to attack him, and then he ended up getting shot.
Yeah. They tried to grab his gun.
Yeah.
Literally, like.
Yeah.
I don't know if I sent you that video, the one his lawyers put out.
I don't think so. I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, I gotta get it.
Pull this up though. I want them to see this. See if my channel's unmuted there.
Oh man, I already see.
Oh, it's not playing now. What's going on?
They trying to suppress it.
Just want to play for you. There we go.
Americans lying about how minorities will destroy the suburbs, whipping up violence and intimidation, and they're pinning it all on what's been an overwhelmingly peaceful movement for racial solidarity. It's true. Research backs it up. Only a tiny fraction of demonstrations have had any violence at all. So what the president is doing is once again patently false. It's morally wrong. And yes, it is racist. But that doesn't mean it won't work. Because this is a difficult time, a confusing time. And when people hear these lies and crazy conspiracies repeated over and over and over again, they don't know what to think. With everything going on in their lives, they don't have time to fact check falsehoods being spread throughout the internet. And even reasonable people
The
might
footage
get
is playing behind her, so that's what
one
makes it
thing
so
this
funny.
president is really, really good at is using fear and confusion and spreading lies to
Oh,
win.
really? Like COVID?
Oh.
Like getting... look.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
like
man.
just shooting cops for no reason.
But like you see the way she's talking, the tone of her voice, the way it's just like you need me to tell you what to think.
Yeah.
Do you hear what I'm saying? Doesn't this make you believe me? You know what I mean? It's like
And yeah, the confusion and everything, but they're causing it.
right.
This is the whole point. They want people to be confused so that they can pull them into their understanding or their way, you know.
Yeah. It's real.
That, you know what else? COVID's had. It's been had a pretty big effect on. There's a coin shortage because of COVID now.
I
Isn't
heard
that
about
weird?
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Like nobody's out spending money. Like
Nope.
how is there?
Yeah.
A coin shortage? And then the feds just proposed, or they didn't propose. They said that this holiday season they're done printing money. They're looking to go to a digital currency.
And I was talking to somebody.
So that's
yeah.
how they're gonna do that.
I was talking to a bunch of people on that's the move, like moving everybody into a cryptocurrency somehow.
It's one of the stages of it was originally Agenda 21. Now it's Agenda 2030.
Right. They changed it to 2030
Yeah,
because it was 21 was supposed to happen 2021, right?
yeah.
And now they changed it to 2030. But yeah, so break down what that agenda is for those that don't know.
So I want to say it was probably back in mid to late 90s that the United Nations came out with. It was basically an Agenda 21. It was called, and it had to do with they geared it towards preserving like natural resources and the environment and like that. But basically, what it was geared towards was there's way too many people on this earth, and we're gonna run out of natural resources,
yeah.
fuel, and different things like that. We're gonna run out of it. And one of the big people that spoke there was it was our boy Billy Gates.
William
He was,
Gates.
and his main example was he was talking about the best way to sum it up there. Like, do you think that we're at risk of overpopulation? And he totally like avoided the question. He's like, well, I'm just going to give you some figures. He's like, basically, if you look at your wealthier countries, the average number of kids are like 2.7 kids per household. Those are the wealthier countries, and when you get into the 6 or 7 kids per household mark, if you look, those are the poverty countries. Those are the he referenced Kenya. He was going through all this stuff, and he was just basically like, so, I mean, if we want to sustain the environment and natural resources and greenhouse gases, he's like we should move towards that 2.7 number. I was like, oh, okay. So it has to do with depopulation, has to do with a universal banking system.
Didn't we play a clip
cryptocurrency.
of him saying that?
We played that
Add
clip
Yeah.
at the TED Talk where he was talking about, but that was under climate change. That was under we need to get carbon emissions down, so we need to get population. All these numbers need to be close to zero. One of them was population, and then when he says that, he's like, when he says one of these numbers needs to get close to zero, people start laughing because they're like, clearly he's not talking about population.
Yeah.
But then he proceeds to go
Yeah.
into how we can get the population down using vaccines,
Yeah, how do we do it?
reproductive health care,
Vaccines,
all of
Like
these
this
things that
number,
they're...
if we get this number down like 15% or so, he was saying, like something like that. He's like, with using vaccines and everything like that. And I mean, vaccines have a dark past. I mean, we were getting into it a little bit when I first got here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jamie stopped you.
So yeah,
Did I stopped him? Did I?
So
Yeah, you're like,
yeah,
save it for the podcast.
Let's do
Oh,
it.
you mean today? Let's do it.
I was very curious about vaccines. I was kind of like, how did we come up with, like, if we were to have a virus, we can take it and in a smaller portion, like, put it into our bodies and it'll make us immune to it.
Right.
And like I started thinking, I'm like, why are they gonna make us wear masks so we don't get a virus they're eventually gonna give us anyway?
Right.
Like I just wasn't getting it, and I started really reading into it. And the vaccine, the first vaccine was actually first used in the concentration camps in Nazi Germany, and it was Hitler's chief of staff, Dr. Joseph Mengele. And he was part of Operation Paperclip, and the U.S. took him in after they admired his work, and he came over to work for the U.S. basically, and along with the CIA.
And for those that don't know, just real quick, Operation Paperclip is one of those secret government operations that happened, and for years they denied it and lied about it, and then finally it got declassified, where they took a bunch of Nazi scientists and government officials that were clearly implicated in war crimes, and they brought them into our government to work for us. And other countries, Russia took some as well, and then a lot of them fled to South America at that time as well.
Argentina, I know, has a huge
There's a whole
population.
German community there where people only speak German in Argentina.
Yeah, it was basically like, look, you guys, this is war crimes. We're taking you guys in. You if you want a chance at freedom, you basically work for us. It was like almost some racketeering stuff.
Hold on, I got to get a couple
that?
comments real quick, and then we'll continue. Paul said, check out the World Economic Forum Great Reset 2021. I've actually been looking into that a lot since you mentioned it in the last podcast. And that is crazy. Like the World, the World Economic Forum, like that's what's trying to push us into this global economy type thing. And then Paul said Agenda 2130 is the plan to install a global government framework that supersedes national sovereignty. So basically there'll be no nations.
There'll be nations, but not really.
Right.
Yeah,
There'll be the illusion of nations, which they've been working on that for.
It's also to push that social credit score as well, which we can get into.
We can.
Black Mirror, yo.
One work. Todd said, did that agenda get pushed back because of Trump? Because Trump slowed it down, asking for a friend. I mean, I think it's clear that there's somehow he was a wrench in some plans that were being worked out for the last four administrations, all the way at least from Clinton. Yeah. You know what I mean? At least from Clinton. Clinton, Bush, Clinton,
too,
Bush, and Obama. Like all four of those administrations were ushering us into. I mean, they've done speeches about it.
Yeah, you look at he's thrown a wrench into so much.
Yeah,
Iran,
China, yeah.
What was it? The Paris, what's it called?
The Paris Agreement.
Yeah,
he removed the U.S. from that.
Yeah, the World Health Organization, all that stuff. The WHO. I can't say that.
And then Paul said Trump might be shooting himself in the foot by pushing the vaccine agenda unless he's in on the plan. I mean, I think you honestly see him bringing up therapeutics a lot more. And that's why, like, the whole HCQ thing that he was bringing up for a while, like, I think he's trying to signal to people, like, we can do this way. Like, he's kind of getting that out there. Like, the vaccine thing, I don't know what the angle is there. I think it's a way to trigger the other side into, like, putting their foot in their mouth, like to say, "Oh, we got a vaccine. Yeah, it's coming tomorrow. What y'all gonna do?" You know what I mean? Like,
so this just reminds me.
Yeah, go back to what you were saying.
Another sidebar. Sidebar. So, I legit could pull up on the LabCorp portal when I went for the antibody testing, so I could donate the plasma.
Right.
I've yet to be contacted to donate plasma.
What?
I mean, I guess nobody's using it or nobody needs
Nobody
it.
wants it. Nobody wants it.
And they were like taken back there, like they had to like find the manager when I said that like I wanted to get the antibody test and that I wanted to
Donate
put on the list
plasma.
to donate the plasma.
Right.
And she's like, I haven't really dealt with that yet. Hold on, let me get the manager. Like nobody.
No
else
one's donating all
I'm
these
like-
cases?
I'm like, oh, okay, they're definitely gonna hit me up then. I mean, I had COVID, whatever.
So wait, so let me get
I
this
had
straight.
it back in like August 22nd.
Right.
I have yet to hear anything.
So they hit you up 3 times a day just to find out, if
Who I
you
come
how many
contact
times you
with. Are you in the
sneezed
same room
and
as
if
your
you
son?
walked outside
Yeah.
and brushed up against somebody.
Everything.
But
Everything.
when you want to donate plasma, something that could help other people,
Yeah.
they're like,
Can't
yeah,
get a
we're
call
good.
back.
We're good.
You ain't really had it.
We're
Yeah.
good. We're good.
And like I got the results for the antibodies. Like I have them.
And
I'm just waiting.
There was a study that showed that the tests that they're using are so sensitive that it's giving a lot of false positives.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So who knows, man?
I mean, you didn't really feel any change.
did you
right?
have like the loss of taste and all that?
Nothing.
Nothing.
That's why that's part of the reason I got the antibody test in the first place. I'm like, I honestly don't think I think it was a false positive. Like the amount of stuff I got done while overcoming this virus,
Right.
it just made no sense to me. Like
Yo, that's crazy.
if anything, I'm gonna like at least be like a little tired from it or something. I thought like
Because if you get the
anything.
flu,
Because my body's supposed
Yeah,
to be
you get the
working-
flu, you're not doing
My
nothing.
body's supposed to be working on overdrive
Right.
to fight this. And not to mention the virus. The virus, it's supposed to be inevitable that you can't avoid the body aches because the virus lives in your spinal column.
Yeah.
So that's what causes the aches. Like I had nothing. I was hanging sheetrock, everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just
Remodeled your whole house.
yeah, yeah, and then go to sleep, dead tired, wake up, do the same thing again the next day. Just keep going, and then I was working out 4 or 5 days a week still. Like it was just weird.
Yeah.
It was absolutely weird. But everyone's like, "How do you feel?" And I would call the contact tracers are calling. They're like, "How's everything? How you feel?" I feel great. They're like, "Oh, okay. Well, that's good that you're turning the corner." No, I ain't turning the corner. I've been on this side of the street the entire time. Well, the symptoms can still set in, and like.
and for most people, because people love attention, people love being coddled.
they'll
That from
pretend.
when they get that phone call, even if they feel great,
yeah.
it's like, oh, I just don't know. Oh, please tell me it's going to be better. Like most people lean into that. Yeah, right. How long can I get off of work for?
Or even when people say stuff like that, they're trying to suggest to you,
Right.
And so some people take that like, maybe I don't feel that good.
Yeah,
Maybe it's gonna get worse.
right.
I mean, I gladly would have taken a couple days to just rest and just laying around and everything. But like, I didn't even feel like I probably had the most productive 2 weeks I've had in a long time. Like it was weird. It was almost like I felt better than I normally do. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just weird. It was very
Yeah.
weird. But yeah, so that reminded me that I'm trying to donate convalescent plasma. So anybody in the chat that needs it, let me know because LabCorp is not. So
LabCorp does not want your plasma, bro,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they don't want it to get out there. Like, what if you don't have the antibodies, right?
the test that I did.
The test said you did.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. Because I honestly thought that it was a false positive.
Right.
And when I had the antibodies, I'm like, this just doesn't make sense.
But then they don't want it. They don't want your plasma.
Yeah, and it made it sound like I was the only person that volunteered for this in a while. And,
Right.
And I figured, all right, they're gonna hit me up right away.
Yeah.
And nothing.
You had to call them. You're like
Yeah.
chasing them down
Just
with
making
your
sure,
blood.
Just making sure you got the right number.
Stephanie said, a virus will be here forever. It is here. We will have to deal with it, just like the common cold, the flu, herpes, HIV, swine flu, etc. HIV is another one. HIV is another like weird one, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you really research where it came from and like the way they diagnose it, it's weird, man.
Yeah.
It's weird. It doesn't make sense.
Fauci had his hands in that one,
Fauci
too?
is all over that one.
That, and then it's also looking at these viruses and looking at the communities that are getting hit the hardest by them. It's a lot of the lower income communities, the gay communities, stuff like that, and it's like, how like are you telling me that like they're that much higher of a risk for it? It's weird how it targets certain groups.
I mean, they
and
used to
everything.
call it the gay virus back in the day, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like that's what they used
like
to call
the
it.
80s.
Yeah, in the 80s, because they didn't. No one else was getting it.
Yeah.
You know, unless there was like a weird blood transfusion case or something like that. Stephanie asked, "Did Jake expose y'all to the chicks? Are you talking about chicken pox? If so, I got chicken pox. We both got it at the same time because you know that's usually what happens.
Yeah, who got it first, me or you?
I think I did,
Okay.
and then you got it really bad.
Yeah.
Like I got it like mildly, and then you got it really bad.
I don't think I ever had chickenpox.
Yeah, because you didn't grow up here. Yeah. You ever? What about you? Never had chicken pox?
Uh-oh.
Me and my brother got chicken pox.
I heard. Is that a
I would've
rumor?
thought that was like a rite of
if,
passage.
I've been,
Yeah.
I've
If
been
you don't-
vaccinated, but the vaccine I think wears off like every 8 to 10 years or something.
Does it?
I think so.
Is it a true thing that if they say if you haven't had the chickenpox or have it as a kid, you'll have it
Worse.
Dude,
worse.
later.
I don't
Shingles.
believe none
You
of
get it as
this.
an adult, it's
I don't.
worse, yeah.
That's the
what
way.
they say.
I
It's
that
shingles,
sounds
right?
like
It's called.
Shingles.
I've had shingles. I had shingles. Well, remember when that was last year? I got shingles.
Was it last year?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah. You don't remember?
I remember, but I didn't know it was last year.
Yeah. I didn't know what was going on, man.
You
Like,
ain't tell me.
yeah, I told y'all. And it was weird.
Really?
It was like at first I thought it was like, oh, I'm getting like a rash on my back. Like, what? That's weird. Like I thought it was from my shorts or something. It was like right along my pant line, and I thought it was from like my shorts, like irritating me or
irritation spot,
something.
yeah.
And then it's kept like spreading around my side all the way to like my belly button. Right.
Damn.
I'm like, this is the weirdest thing ever. As soon as I go to the doctor, I'm like, I gotta figure out what this is. I go to the doctor, and he's like, oh, it's shingles, man. He knew right away because it literally, he said it splits your body in half. Like it will only because
it never
it's-
came across your
it
belly
never
button.
came across on
What?
either side. On either side, he said it will only show up on half of your body because it's like separated by your spinal cord or something. Again, viruses that live in your
Yeah.
spinal cord.
Yep.
So this says it goes to sleep, but then it can wake up when you're an adult and cause shingles.
Yeah, that's
So
what
when
he
you
said.
have
He
it,
said it's chicken pox that
Yeah.
comes back when you're older, but it shows up as shingles.
varicella is the name of the virus. That's
Yeah.
the official name.
But then it's like we don't know what they're doing. They could be telling you to, oh, you got to give your kids this chickenpox, thing
Yeah. because
because when they get older, and then it's like that could be what's giving it to you.
Yeah.
You don't know because
You
you
don't
never
know.
got it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But then I know James and my wife and all of them got it when
Oh, did
after
they?
after they came here and went to the schools and stuff. They got it in their teens. So
And isn't it weird that like medications cost so much money, but all these vaccines are free?
yeah. Well, I think they're not free, right? They
Well,
insurance.
you need insurance.
It's insurance, but then there's a lot of like my brother works for the county for Camden County, and like he's getting like he has mandatory weekends that he has to work for these flu sites.
The flu
where it's like
vaccines?
the pop-up tents, and then like tax dollars are paying for it. Basically, it's free, but like a lot of these vaccines are free, but you can't go to Walgreens and get like free medication. You can't even get a discount half of the time. I mean, it's weird. And like with the vaccine, it's like the only thing better than the repeating customer is a new customer.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird, man.
Conspiracy Chuck.
I never
There it
get,
is.
I never get the flu vaccine, man. I never do.
Me
I got
either.
it once when my son was born.
Yeah.
And I was hospitalized that same year for the flu.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't never get it.
I don't ever get it either. Every time my mom gets it, she get it every year, and every time she's the one that always get the flu.
Yeah. And then like they're not studying with like once the COVID vaccine comes out, is it going to be safe to get that and the flu vaccine at the same time? If they're very similar, like can't they combine it or something like I think there's going to be a lot of trial and error when that comes out because I mean, one thing I've learned, like being back in the hospitals for work and everything like that, I was talking to a pulmonary doctor and just talking off the record, just, shooting the crap. We haven't talked in a little bit, and he was filling me in. He's like, dude, this was nuts. He's like, I really think that it's going to we're going to look back years from now and realize we did more harm than good with the ventilators and everything like that. Because he's like, this is the guidance that we had. This is what we were told. This is what we were told was going to help. He's like, there was a guy that was 27 that died right in front of me from the ventilator.
The ventilator.
He goes, because there's two factors to it. Your body adapts to everything. So you're being put on this ventilator. Your body's going, okay, hold on. Like there's other issues going on. I don't need to breathe on my own anymore. I'm trying to fight off what's going on, because he said for especially someone who's healthy that they're putting on a ventilator, as precaution, the amount of drugs they have to give them to sedate them to be able to do the ventilator, they just weren't waking back up.
Yeah, that was the list of drugs. It was like what, 15 different type of drugs. That was.
It was unreal.
That was a video that you sent me with that nurse.
Yeah. He was saying like, dude, like and now he's like they're not doing the ventilators, and the ventilators were like really being pushed, and like I'm hearing stuff about the hospitals where I'm going to certain hospitals and the staff isn't there anymore because they had a bunch of empty beds, and they had to cut back on staff, a lot of staff, and that's why you're seeing numbers so inflated of COVID deaths and the ventilators, because that money that they're getting from the insurance company is the only way for them to keep the lights on at these hospitals.
Mm-hmm. And then
the expense of people's lives.
It becomes political too. So it becomes a way to attack. Oh, the administration is not prepared for this. And what's this right here, Rich?
Article from the Daily Mail. Doctors harming coronavirus patients by putting them on ventilators. Everything he just said. Some press about it, but that they may be overused, could damage lungs. Like, this is not what should be happening in every case. Like, throw them on a ventilator.
Yeah. I remember at the beginning of this thing how people were freaking out about ventilators. Like that was all you were hearing. Ventilators.
Yeah, Cuomo.
And then all of a sudden it's like, well, we don't need none of these ventilators.
Yeah.
You know, it was so political. Speaking of that, Todd said, I truly believe there is a concerted effort from the left to make this virus a problem and to create fear during this election cycle. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with our political system in general. Because
the stat on here says almost 2/3 of coronavirus sufferers on ventilators in the UK do not survive. Like
2/3, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, keep on. You're good.
No, I'm good. I think what we're seeing is how everything is connected,
right.
kind of like a web. You know what I mean? Like, there's no, like, all these entities, medical, political, like, they're all connected in some way through what? Money, you know? And that's the thing that needs to be
money
dealt
and
with.
power, right?
Yeah. I mean, the power, the money to control
First you get
them,
the money,
you know?
then
And
you get the power. After you get the power, then you get the respect. Is that how it goes?
Money, power,
I don't know.
respect.
That's
Money, power,
Key to
respect. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
The Locks and Lil Kim, man. Come on.
but you're seeing how this is playing out now, because it's almost like it can't be hid, it can't hide anymore,
Right.
You know, with this stuff. So
No, but it's all right.
I think we're seeing
We got little bro.
Yeah.
where we need to attack or prey into
Right.
areas where these are the points. Like, we can't serve two masters,
Right.
And you see people you can't keep the lights on, you can't.
Right.
So people are in service to these things because of fear of this, because of fear of that. It's all fear
It's
based.
fear. Everything is fear based.
And we got it at one point. You got to start trusting back in God,
Right.
You know,
And I think this situation in particular has been a huge like line in the sand for a lot of people, where it's like, okay, things are being made so clear right now that it's like, all right, let's get back to what we know is true. Like, there's so many lies going on from everywhere, from all angles. And like people say, like Michelle Obama talking about, I know you're confused,
yeah.
but I'll tell you the truth. No, bitch. We gonna listen to God. Like,
That's not nice.
Really, dude?
I'm just saying, like, I'm saying it to make a point. It's like, no, you're not gonna be my truth. My truth is from God. You know what I'm saying? Like, so let me not stop listening to y'all. Stop listening to all these people trying to tell me they have the answer for me.
Yeah.
And it's just,
And Michelle Obama has been an icon for a lot of women and black women,
Right.
and you can see how that's something that shouldn't be,
Right.
you know, and it blinds you.
It blinds you. Absolutely. What's he worried about?
He's like,
I'm trying to be all slick and it just sounded like I was doing ASMR over here.
We're just hanging out, man.
Yeah,
It's fine.
just-
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to read a couple comments. Stephanie is just chiming in. When you get the flu vaccine, ask which flu I'm getting vaccinated for. And then they always say, well, you got to get, that's why you have to get it every year. Every
Yeah.
season, no? Every flu season.
Every season, yeah, it changes.
And then when you still get the flu, they just say, "Oh, well, it would have been a lot
Well,
worse.
mutated.
It would have been a lot worse if you didn't get the vaccine."
Right, right,
Yeah.
Are you
right.
kidding me?
So
They lied to
they
me.
could always just spin it on you in some way or another.
Yeah.
I wanted to change
Go
the
ahead.
subject a little bit.
Go ahead.
Just into something a little lighter, but kind of important because
You don't want to talk about trunk anymore?
Yo, that was hilarious.
Oh, you sent it to him?
Do something about these kids.
You gotta do something about these kids, Trunk.
that was funny. Now, was that a joke?
Nah, yo.
No,
That was
dude,
serious?
She was
She
serious,
really
bro.
thinks his name is Trunk.
No. I mean, was it? She's serious. I thought
She was serious,
I thought it
yo.
was like some kind of. See, that's the problem nowadays. You don't know what's real
Right,
and what's
right,
fake.
right.
What's a parody? What's you know what I mean?
Right,
you don't
right.
know anymore because it's just crazy.
that was
you
so
see all
funny.
these characters.
She like the weed man.
Hey, the
I
weed
can't.
man,
I can't. Yo, but I was telling when I sent it to them, I was like, yo, it's funny how even though like she's super ghetto, like she's speaking more truth than most people do. Like
Yeah, man.
she's like
in a way.
in
I mean,
a way, but it's a wild truth,
Yeah.
but it's a truth. Like
Yeah.
she's actually more based than a lot of people that are all in fear out here. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like she's saying, like we need to. I can't go to the trampoline, the trampoline
Yeah.
spot.
Can't take them to
Can't
the
take these
trampoline.
kids to the beach. Can't take these kids to the trampoline. Like, what are we doing, Trunk?
That was hilarious.
And then when she say,
she said you
"Y'all
gotta
need to
lower
take
the price of weed.
lower the price of weed. Y'all got to do something. Need to go. I don't know what's going on with that Chinaman. She said,
Chinaman,
"What's
Chinaman.
going on with this Chinaman over there? This Chinaman. I need to talk to Chinaman. Get this thing straightened out, Trunk." Yo, that was funny. But go ahead. What were you going to show?
No, I just wanted to. You can put it up, Jamie. Just in Israel, how like the desert is starting to bloom.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah.
which is really interesting. Places that have been like straight desert, the Dead Sea area, all these places are starting to bloom,
It's
and
beautiful, man.
Yeah.
it's kind of amazing. And this was in prophecy. It's just at the top, Jamie. You can,
No. What's this?
Yeah, right there. It talks about it a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but this is like in the desert.
I think that's
Desert
near
burst
the Dead Sea.
into
That
bloom
right there.
and other unusual events.
So what was the prophecy that spoke about this?
I think it's in there. Jeremiah. I mean, Isaiah 35. I think it talks.
Oh,
about
it says it at the top. Oh yeah. The wilderness and dry land will be glad. The desert will rejoice and blossom like a lily. It will blossom profusely.
There's a few parts where it talks about that in the Bible, but basically it's saying like parts of the desert will be brought back, and I think it's a correlation prophetically to what's happening with church. Like when you look at church has been so dry. Like we just did the song Burn, and that second verse, you know, all
Have our words lost
their meaning because we've heard,
heard
it
it
all
all
before. Have our senses been depleted, growing numb from overload?
Yeah.
What if God was standing on the corner? Would everybody
right.
just walk on by, too concerned with where we're going? That
We never hear him crying.
right?
Right.
And so it becomes like, well, that's just religion. That's
Right.
just church, because it doesn't really mean anything anymore, because it's like, well, that goes in this box.
Right.
This goes in. But when it's truth, when it's ultimate truth, and it starts to actually start coming to life, because people actually start believing in it, you start to see, you know, the desert come to life. The place where nothing ever grows. Now things are
I think we
starting to
wrote
grow.
a song about that too. Back to life.
Back to life. Oh, yeah. Back to life.
Bring me back to life.
Yeah.
But play a little bit. There's a video I put in there. I think I put the marker at 55. But so they're doing video of the Dead Sea on drone video. This place was straight arid. Like the Dead Sea is called the Dead Sea for a reason because it's dead. It was like
55, you said?
Yeah,
55 seconds?
55 seconds.
Okay.
It was mostly salt. Mark Twain, I was trying to find that clip. Mark Twain went there in 1867 and he talked about the Dead Sea and how bad it was. But now you see grass is starting to grow.
Wow.
Like, in this area. This is right around the Dead Sea. And this is after thousands of years of it being arid and dead.
Wow, it's crazy.
Yeah, so that's the Dead Sea right there. And even like a few years ago, you would go there and it would be like you'd stand near the Dead Sea and all you see is just rocks. It was like Sodom and Gomorrah. You know what I mean? Like just straight nothing. Actually, Sodom and Gomorrah were around the Dead Sea.
Todd said, God is in control. Amen. 100%. And Stephanie said, live your life with faith in God. He's coming soon.
Like that's, if you saw the pictures, dude, there was nothing there. You know what I mean?
Let's see if we can show. Let's see if we can show some.
Well, show some of those pictures of the flowers.
Where? In here?
Yeah. Because those were kind of cool.
I don't see it, bro.
I think he's talking about in the feed, not
Oh.
Yeah, in the
not
feed.
Oh, in the feed. Oh, okay.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, though, man.
I'm looking through the video.
flowers.
Okay, yeah. Boom.
Wow. Flowers are so beautiful.
Yeah, so in the desert.
Let's go here. Look at that, in the stone. Let's full screen that real quick.
This picture is actually famous.
Is it?
I've seen this before.
Yeah. There's a few of them like
It had a
that.
message on it, like a inspirational message.
Oh, okay. There's a few more. But
Oops.
Going to my page. What is going on? Clicking on the wrong
Just
page.
JB clicking around.
It messed me up, man. Yeah, but that's cool, man. That's a cool story. Like,
Yeah, but it really, just hit me with everything that's going on. Like the way I'm seeing it is, we can be drawn into all this craziness and all this
fear.
all this chaos that they talk,
yeah.
about. They're talking about, but I really believe it's an opportunity to see things in a way where we haven't seen them before. But it takes faith. You know what I mean? It takes true faith to see past it. Hope. It starts with hope. Like, where is the hope?
That's the Dead Sea.
That's what it was
Okay.
before?
There
Wow.
you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Arid.
Damn. That's crazy. And how does that life just come out of that?
Climate change.
That's what.
Yo,
Climate
yo. See, Greta Thunberg warned us about this. She warned us about this, man.
Yeah, but
What are we going to do when all these plants grow? Now we're going to be overloaded with oxygen.
Yeah. So and even the, I think there's prophecy about the Dead Sea coming back to life. And I think it's the salt levels are starting to go down too.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, don't quote me on it, but I think I heard something about that. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's crazy. I got a story for y'all. I don't know if y'all heard about this. Boom, let's pull this up. Netflix indicted in Texas over Cuties movie.
Wait, what?
Netflix is being indicted in Texas over the Cuties movie on Netflix because they refuse to take it down, and a lot of people are seeing this for what it is, and people aren't letting it go. You know what I mean? And I know like there's a lot of pushback from people that are like, oh, but dance moms and all this other stuff is just as bad. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it takes something.
It's not just as bad. I mean, I get it with the dress and everything, but in terms of how they're dancing
and the
Yeah.
visual and the
no.
camera angles and stuff like that.
Yeah, the zoom ins to the crotch.
they don't hump
Right.
the ground on Dance Moms. Like,
Do they? I don't know. I've never seen that show.
I never seen that show.
There was.
okay, I've seen it a few times because but this is years ago because I used to live with
People that
my
watch
sister-in-law,
stuff like that,
and
right.
she used to watch it. So
That was funny.
It's not even funny that he's seen it because that's normal. His face when he says
He was like he's confessing something.
right,
All right.
my true confession. No, but so I would like I wouldn't see a whole episode, but I would see like the lady. She would be yelling. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Why is she yelling like that?
Right.
And then seeing her dancing. I mean,
I've seen it a few times too, but I haven't. I've seen more like what looks like emotional abuse because they're in a TV production
Yeah.
setting.
even the dancing,
Then dancing.
the songs for me,
It wasn't bad. That
I'm like, I'm not
myself.
putting my kids in that stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, no.
I wouldn't do that to my daughter, but it wasn't like what we
Inappropriate
saw.
to that same level.
Yeah, it's nothing like the Cuties. Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean that was, I think, and it was all veiled under the idea of like, well, no, we're actually condemning this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's no. You can't condemn something and then show it at the same time.
Right.
Right.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I just saw an article about like all of these kids were found. It was like, I don't know if you can find it, but there was just
Yeah.
you saw that?
Yeah,
They found all of these kids that were being
Yeah, I saw
yeah,
it on
Anomaly
his
talked about
page.
it. There was a bunch of kids that were being trafficked that they found, and
I think it was Chicago area.
I think so. But it's a huge problem, man. Like this human trafficking thing, and it's like we've never seen anyone put these task force together that they're doing now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That damn
And,
Trump.
I mean, we're not hearing about it on the news. What news station is covering this?
right.
Even
Exactly.
Fox.
Right.
You know, nobody's
they don't
covering
talk about it. They don't talk about it.
Yeah. And it's a shame.
Right.
You ever seen the map that they released where it was a picture and it was a bunch of spots all over the country,
No.
and everyone thought it was a COVID outbreak map, and they're like, no, it's not a COVID outbreak map. This is a child trafficking map
Wow.
of the U.S. I don't know.
I think you showed that to me.
Ray, see if you can find that maybe.
What am I finding? I'm sorry.
It's no okay.
I think Jamie's looking it
I
up.
got you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Wait, put this up though.
Yeah, put that up. What she found first.
This is from 2 years ago, but like, 123 missing children found in Michigan during sex trafficking operation.
Yeah.
Never made news.
And there's been hundreds of stories like
Just
this,
like this.
in the last 3 years that have been happening, and you don't hear nothing about. Like people will write an article about it, but you don't see it on CNN. You
Yeah.
don't see it on them. You don't see it on the mainstream media. They don't want to talk about it for some reason. You know, just like the Epstein thing. You know, who was that? Who was the chick on ABC that talked about how she had the story and they Amy Roboth or something.
Yeah, Robot.
Yeah.
Robot.
Robach. Is this it right here?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Oh, where'd it go?
Don't you hate that when
I
you
hate
click
it, man.
when you click
I
on
hate
it?
it. So
It's there.
annoying.
Yeah,
That's it right there.
That's
Okay,
it.
so yeah, so you look at this and somebody posted up and
It's
it's like,
COVID.
"Oh my God, COVID!" And it's like, no, this is where the child trafficking hotspots are.
Oh, Jersey looks
That's
pretty
look,
red.
Jersey's pretty red. Florida's pretty red.
Where John used to live.
Look at DC and
Yo.
then look at Southern California.
Yeah,
Southern California.
Southern California,
Wow.
Look at
Southern
that.
and Northern California,
All of California.
all of California, and the DC metro area.
DC, yep.
Like, and I've seen Like, look how dark red that is right there. I've seen.
And Michigan,
been
not to
talking
mention
about-
Michigan.
Yeah.
Michigan's real bad.
Yeah.
They've been talking about like ports of entry to other places and places that are like a little bit more open as far as people coming from other places and flying in, and that's a big deal and
Right.
why a lot of it happens.
Yeah. I mean, it's
That's
crazy.
Caribbean right there. Or was
Where?
that Florida?
That's Florida. That's Florida right there. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, we didn't. You guys know about that chick that was one of Clinton's aides that got caught with 30 kids from Haiti, right?
Yeah.
And what happened? Nothing.
She was like, what was her label?
She was like involved somehow in, like she ran the foundation that had to do with missing children or something. Like I don't remember the exact story. See if I can find it, but yeah, she was like, her job was to handle, and we talked about this before, like that philanthropy thing that is like really just a cover for trafficking children.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they do it in all different countries.
Didn't her job have something to do with the public relations aspect of it, though?
It could
Where
have been.
She was like, she was in charge of depicting it how it was supposed to
Right.
look.
To make it look like
Yeah.
this great philanthropic thing.
Mm-hmm.
Philanthropic.
Whose phone is that? Is that mine?
Well, Melanie, our cousin Melanie said, Child Protective Services in Camden just recently had kids from human trafficking. They were from Guatemala.
Wow.
And I heard, my wife was telling me about the girl who went missing. I think it was like in Millville or that area. Remember the
It
girl?
was Millville.
Yeah, Millville.
Millville or Pleasantville? One of the villas.
Well, she had something. The mother had something to do with it. Like
What?
It's coming out. Yeah. Now, my wife told me this. She heard it, so I don't know if it's
Just blame
true.
it on Leslie.
But I mean, I want to look into that because that was interesting. Because in this area, that was a big thing. You know, when that girl went missing, and they're saying now the mother,
Oh, you're talking about the
the Mexican girl.
I didn't want to say Mexican.
Why not?
I
She's
didn't know,
Mexican.
I didn't know if she was or not because she looked Mexican.
She is Mexican.
I didn't want to be racist.
Oh, you didn't know? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. No, she was Mexican. Dulce.
Chuck's cracking up.
That's the girl's name, Dulce.
Yeah.
I say that so. Dulce.
Dulce. Dulce. Don't that mean like sugar?
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah.
Look at Rach with her Spanish.
Stam said, yeah, Dulce. That was a rumor. I guess, but it was weird. Stephanie Helen says it's not a plus in either side's agenda. Why would they report it? Yeah. True. I mean,
Yeah. There's
Trump talks about it.
Oh, he
but-
talks about it all the time. But
But-
there's crony Republicans,
Yeah,
establishment
absolutely.
Republicans that are
They're in it.
involved.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, this is
Democrats.
both sides. This ain't, this is Republicans and Democrats. They're both in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to start to see a lot of exposure on that end too.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, if Trump gets another term, I think he's going to blow the top off a lot of stuff.
yeah,
And polls got Biden winning though.
Yeah. Well, that and numbers
I think
are
by like
starting to
8%.
climb back. The numbers in like New Jersey and everything are starting to climb back up and everything anyway for
After his COVID-19.
yeah, absolutely. It's all his fault.
Yeah, so I found it right here. So the lady's name is Laura Silsby, and she was the former director of the New Life Children's Refuge. And she was arrested with some other people, 9 other American nationals, attempting to steal 33 children from Haiti. And she got charged with kidnapping, but I don't remember the full story. I don't feel like reading this whole thing. It's a lot to it, but I remember like Clinton used her powers to get her off, basically. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's like she was in charge of some like refugee program, and then
she got caught with like 30
kidnapping
kids?
33 kids.
33.
From Haiti.
33.
33.
I hear that too.
Whose phone is that?
Yours? Your phone?
It's probably Jake. It's usually Jake.
I must have hit the volume on it because it was all the way down. You know what?
So Todd just put up a link. I'm gonna trust you, Todd, and click on this link. See what you're showing us here. Finding the Mountain of Moses. Oh, the real Mount Sinai in Saudi Arabia. Okay, that's a 21-minute video. We'll have to watch that later. But it sounds interesting. Finding the real Mount Sinai in Saudi Arabia. Possible.
That's cool.
That's cool. Check it out. All right. Anything else y'all want to talk about before we get out of here?
Oh, do we want to get into?
Do we want to show Chuck's
does?
pictures here?
Let me get like a couple minutes on the vaccine real quick.
Oh yeah. Let's go back. We got off track.
Okay, so we're getting back into it where Dr. Joseph Mengele was the main one, and that was Hitler's right-hand scientist. And the usage of the first vaccine was in Nazi Germany at the concentration camps. And what he did was he came up with a vaccine that the two main side effects were it would cause your tongue to swell, and it would give you restless legs so bad that you would march in place. So
what was the vaccine for?
It was literally just to literally dehumanize the Jews even more.
Okay.
Basically.
So it wasn't a vaccine. It was like.
So the drug is still used today in psychiatric homes for like severe patients. It's called Thorazine. Thorazine is the actual drug that was used, and basically like the two main side effects were your tongue would swell. So at this point in time, you can't communicate with one another,
right?
And it's causing you to march in place. So now you have a bunch of people wearing the same like outfits, basically marching in place together. It looks like they're, part of the Third Reich, basically. It's but that was the first usage of a vaccine, and that's where the term vaccine and everything came from. And the U.S. was totally blown away with what he did and brought him on over. And that's how vaccines were started. It literally had a negative connotation on it from the start.
Was that under FDR?
No. Pretty sure it was Truman by that time.
Truman, who was another. Both of them are Freemasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we talked about Truman last time, like 1950.
Yeah. That's when they brought the Nazis over in the 1950s?
No. I'm just saying 1950 was the start of the Cold War officially. And
right.
The credit card. Remember we were talking about that?
Yeah.
That was under Truman.
Card, yeah.
But FDR was the one that kind of ushered in the
gold standard.
The not even the gold standard, the fiat currency that we now use as from the Federal Reserve, and putting the seal on the dollar bill, and the owl and all that stuff. And I was just watching something. I sent you that video, and remember those documentaries we watched back in the day?
Yeah.
I was rewatching them. I haven't seen them in so long, and dude, there's so much information in them things. But they went into how he was obsessed with this dude, the sorcerer. What was his name?
Aleister Crowley?
No,
Merlin?
not Aleister Crowley. Who said Merlin?
What are you talking about? I don't. No, because Merlin it's actually there's like some esoteric stuff with Merlin. That's why I was.
But Merlin is based
you're talking
off
about
John
John
Dee.
Dee.
No, John Dee is from the 1600s. That's from he's from back.
Right. So what are you talking about?
There's a dude who was under Rorik, something Rorik. I I can't remember it
what
now.
you're talking about.
But anyway, like, so FDR was like,
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
the dude he was like from Russia.
He
or
was
something.
from Germany.
You
He
sure?
was from Germany or Russia.
I think he was from Russia.
Eastern
But I know what
Europe.
you're talking
You know
about.
what I'm talking about?
Because I remember that in the documentary.
Yeah. And he was like a mystic or whatever.
Yeah,
And
okay.
he was he became like a advisor to him or whatever, and he became obsessed with him, and they believed that he basically realized what the true purpose of America was through him or whatever. Nicholas Roerich, yes, Nicholas Roerich, yeah, and there's a whole museum to him in wherever he's from. Where's he from?
Russia.
He's from Russia. Okay.
Is that the guy?
Yeah.
This guy?
Yeah. Well, oh, yeah. That's him right there.
He looks like
and that's
mine.
a wizard if you ever seen one. Yeah. So FDR was obsessed with that dude, and like a lot of the policies that he implemented in the U.S. that we still are under now are because he was being advised by a dude that was like totally sold out to the occult. Like, it's crazy. Like when you look at why we have the seals and like the number 13 and why it's so prevalent on the dollar bill, all those symbols of the number 13, like it's all has to do with this esoteric knowledge, these ancient mystery schools that he was secretly involved in, but outwardly, you know, I'm a Christian, you know.
Yeah. Well, we talked about it before, like about how certain things are built in a certain place on like ley lines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, that's for a reason. And they do it on purpose because, you know, they secretly follow these
That's the one.
wizards.
That's the one that I sent you. It's all about.
I didn't know the Masons were out here like making corn soup and pouring it on stuff, and like I'm like, yo, okay.
Yo, and then did you see like where that
Top
comes
hats,
from?
Like, what is happening?
Right.
Yeah.
The corn and the oil and the wine ceremony that the Masons do on the cornerstone all comes from Baal worship. You know what I mean? But back to what you were saying.
Oh, no. It was just basically going back to
The vaccines.
the vaccines, and then from whence they went, and like further research was done. Like they were literally, I want to say it was called like typhus or something like that.
Typhoid.
I don't know if it was typhoid. Maybe it was typhoid, but like they were experimenting on like everything from prisoners to people in the concentration camps under Hitler, and you know, using vaccines basically to see what effects it would have on the human body, and then they did everything from
You
that.
mean what
all the way to
Bill Gates is doing with the
The Africans.
African children?
Yeah. I mean, Bill Gates got kicked out of India.
Yeah, he did. What medical school did he go to?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember.
man. I don't remember. The
Medical school of the elite.
the eugenicists of America.
I mean, I know a couple people who are really good with computers. They're not giving me medical advice.
Right.
No, that's not happening.
But it's funny how we listen to him about medical advice. Like people really will sit there and listen to Bill Gates and
And
be
then-
like, "Well, Bill Gates says we should do this."
And then make
same
fun of
guy.
a working doctor who's practicing. You
Yeah.
know.
The same guy who thinks we're overpopulated wants to save lives.
Right. Meanwhile, the entire population of the globe could fit in Texas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Todd Hellam said, "Just want to let you guys know how awesome I think you are before I close out this live feed."
Hey, man.
appreciate
We
that.
If you're still
appreciate
here,
you.
thank you, Todd.
Hey, make sure you come back and check us out again.
We're gonna watch that video that you posted.
Which one?
Todd was the one that posted it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll watch that. Yeah. Stan sent us a video earlier too that went into that doctor that was talking. Was that Stan that sent that?
Hydroxychloroquine,
That
right?
was talking about how he's been treating patients with that.
Yeah, in California.
1,700 patients.
1,700
Not
patients.
one single death.
Yeah.
But you know, you're not allowed to talk about that.
That's what's weird. They're like censoring it instead of discrediting them, which is what they've always done in the past.
Right.
If there's false information out there, they will make you look like a fool. They will
Yeah.
make you eat your words, and they'll discredit you. they're just censoring now.
Right.
It's weird.
I think because it's harder to discredit now because of all the information, so
Yeah.
people can get to the root of a thing a lot easier.
Right.
Yeah.
And even like another tactic would be they will pull funding. But now someone
You can find that out.
But not only that, someone can crowdfund
Yeah.
in multiple ways.
Right.
So like even if you try to pull their funding and they make a good video exposing what's going on, they can crowdfund somewhere and get the funding. So it's like now the tactic is to just silence you.
Yeah.
Shut you down. Now you can't say anything, and this is what they're doing. All these, the technocracy is becoming a real problem. And with this election, we're going to see it get worse because they've already announced that like whatever happens on election day, if Trump tweets out that he won because he won the electoral vote, they're going to censor it. But only him though. You know what I mean? Only him. Only what he tweets. Like they've said, Facebook said it, Twitter said it. Like whatever he announces on that day will be censored. So I'm just, there's a lot of like weird wizardry at play with this election.
Yeah. Light
Weird how,
refraction.
like the technology tycoons, like all of Silicon Valley sides with one side. And then like Gates, Zuckerberg, all that. They like basically they're like, this platform's for everyone. Really, they're just selling everybody's information.
Jack Dorsey too.
But it's like, oh, you know what? Like,
And all of Silicon Valley, you can't live in Silicon Valley unless you're like, making all kinds of money. Like,
Yeah.
That's why
that's a whole
That's why
nother
they got a
thing
huge
over that.
homeless issue.
Yeah. I was watching something. This is from last year. Like people who go into the restaurants business there, who just go to work, like they're driving like 2 hours, 2.5 hours outside because they can't live.
They can't
anywhere
live there.
near.
Yeah. It's so expensive.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I know everybody's got we're in New Jersey, so did you get your mail-in ballot yet?
yeah.
I just got mine today.
I got mine, I think, Thursday or Friday last week.
And we don't have a choice but to use it.
So we can't go and
No.
and
They're
vote?
trying
If
to
you
make
go
it-
in
You can
person,
go, but you have to turn in your mail-in ballot.
Okay.
I don't even think you can do that. I think you have to drop it off at a drop location. If you go in person, you have to fill out a provisional ballot, which then they're saying
Yeah,
that
you know what? You're right. Yeah.
that they're saying like that could take a few weeks to be processed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
None of this makes sense.
I don't trust it.
Yeah.
Can't do that, but you can have 800 people at a DMV.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yo, why didn't they do a freaking app, yo? Like a app, and then you can type in your info. Everybody got a phone.
Dude, I don't know. That sounds
You
like
know
it
the-
makes too much sense. That's why.
I mean, why do we have to do any of this? We go to
Exactly.
the supermarket all the time.
Right.
Like,
Yep.
What is the point? It's one day. One day.
Not only that, but like,
Huh?
If they do an app, like if they vote for Trump, make it yes.
Yeah, that's the other thing. An app is too vulnerable to fraud and like hacking and like they could easily fudge the numbers on. Yeah. Right. The Trump button just doesn't work.
It wasn't until Trump talked about cutting funding back for the postal service that the push came out for mail-in voting. They could use FedEx or UPS, I'm sure, but it's like, okay, you're gonna have these people handling the mail.
You don't want to use FedEx.
You're gonna have these people handling the mail-in ballots. Who it's like, okay, one side supports you, the other side wants to cut your funding and your livelihood. It's like, what?
But that's the other thing is like that's another lie is that he wasn't cutting funding. They were asking.
and
They had more funding.
they had way more
He
to do it.
he had opened up more funding for them. But what they were doing is they were asking for an additional funding to compensate for the mail-in ballots that were going to be overwhelming the system. So they wanted to add more funding on top of that. And that's when he was like, no. You know what I mean?
So I just got a message from like a random. It's called Move On.
Oh, that's
Oh,
George
yeah.
Soros.
I got-
George,
Okay.
That's a George Soros.
I got that too.
I got
Actually,
that too.
I got that 2 days ago.
Me too.
So it says Donald Trump has threatened to reject the results of the election to get rid of the ballots and won't commit to a peaceful transfer of power. What? And they're literally just. When did he ever say that?
Dude,
We must
Doesn't matter.
ensure that Biden wins a massive landslide victory
just said that,
cannot be ignored or undermined. Will you chip in $3?
No. I texted him back.
Don't
Trump 2020.
Put stop.
Please move on,
just
quote unquote.
ignore them, man. Ignore them.
No, you could put stop and they won't
yeah,
text you anymore.
But no, MoveOn.org is a George Soros organization.
Okay. But just what they're saying in a text, it's like, yo, you're straight lying.
Yeah.
You know.
But people believe
They
that.
can just lie.
People
just like
believe
how
that, man.
Biden lied when he was debating.
Just like the next day, they kept saying, "Oh, he refused to condemn white supremacy." It's like, what are y'all talking about? You know,
Yeah.
they just straight lie. You know, talking about the Proud Boys. The Proud Boys are a white supremacist organization,
But they're
you know?
not.
No.
I actually looked up and looked into it. What was his name? Gavin
McGinnis, yeah.
McGinnis. Yeah, he actually started that as a satire.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, it was
that.
like him and
It
his
was like a
boys at the
joke.
bar. They made this idea up because men are being attacked as like,
Well,
you know,
it started with an intern that
That's right. That's right.
that worked for them, and
yeah,
that's
and
that's the leader right there.
right. He's a Cuban. He's a black Cuban.
He's a black Cuban.
Yeah. Right.
You know.
But they're white supremacists, you know. But yeah, it was from one of the interns.
Yeah, but he was making fun of him
Yeah.
because he was just like no emotions.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And it ended up. It's crazy
It
how
ended
that
up catching
morphing-
on, and then they used to call themselves Proud Boys. They would go out and drink, and then yeah, it
And
just
even the
spiraled into-
initiation thing was a joke.
Yeah.
Like you got to recite. What was it? You got to recite 5 something
forget.
crazy.
Yeah.
While being punched in the stomach 5 times.
Yeah, it was all started as a joke,
It's a joke,
you know.
and it became a real thing.
Yeah, and now they have chapters, and they got chapters overseas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's Israeli Proud Boys. But, you know, white supremacists, they love Israelis, don't they? But yeah, it's just funny how the narrative, like, and when you watch it, like, he was so, say the Proud Boys, say the Proud Boys. You know what I mean? It's like, they just lie, man.
Yeah. And it's the same question from the same guy who asked the question
Yeah.
back in 2016.
Right. Yeah. Chris Wallace, whose dad he's so a part of the establishment. You know what I mean? His dad was a journalist before him, and he was just as bad, you know. Like, it's funny how they come from these elite families, and you see how they keep trying to spin the narrative. Clearly, like, these elites are threatened right now by this dude being in office. Can't handle the trunk. Yo, he's gonna be Trump forever now. Trunk, I can't believe I saw it.
Nuts.
Trunk. Yo,
People don't know what we're talking
We
about.
should start talking about.
Should we play it?
Take
Should
it to
we?
the trampoline.
I'll play it.
Trump.
Should we play it? I'll play it. Hold on, let me see. See if I can find it. Here it is. Video may be inappropriate. It's got a
Y'all, I done had to come in this motherfucking car to get away from these motherfucking kids. Listen here, Trunk. I don't know what the fuck going on, but whatever the fuck y'all put in this air, y'all need to motherfucking contain this shit. Because these motherfuckers need to go back to school. See, I ain't got enough money to be calling the motherfucking weed man. And the dispensaries ain't giving no goddamn discounts for this shit. So Trump, you need to contain this shit. Or tell the motherfuckers over there in China that they
China.
I ain't got enough motherfucking weed. Now y'all can come and take me to jail all you motherfucking wanna, cause I got a motherfucking card. And bitch, and the way my brain's set up right now, y'all can motherfucking come get me because I
She bad, boy.
Let me explain something to y'all. Y'all don't stop this till motherfuckers can't go to school. Y'all don't put it to where these bitches can't go to the beach. Y'all don't motherfucker put it to where these bitches can't go to the motherfucking trampoline place. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is it that y'all want us to do with these motherfucking kids. That's what I'm trying to figure out. What is it that you want me to do? You ain't giving me no money to go buy no activities.
No activities.
Trump, you need to tell the motherfucking weed mans that they need to give us a motherfucking discount. You need to put the money in the weed man's pocket so we can stay straight. Because guess what? I ain't got no more money. Trump, I ain't set up for this, Trump. I'm used to being in school, Trump.
She's tired of COVID.
Y'all need to share this and tell President Trump he need to get this shit together. Contain this shit. Cause bitch, we about to flip a wig around here.
All right.
Y'all get the idea.
She gonna flip a wig, y'all. Trunk is messing with her, man.
Trump.
Yo, that was funny though. Like I saw that and I was like, yo, is she called Trunk?
Paul said she crunk for trunk.
She said we can't go to the beach. They can't go to school. We can't go to the trampoline place. Y'all ain't giving us no money for activities. Yo, that was funny.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was funny. All right, let's wrap it up, guys.
Yeah, it was
It's
a
been
good one.
fun. It's a good show. Thanks for coming in, Chuck. We appreciate you, man. We appreciate you sharing your COVID story, man.
Yeah.
People need to hear that, man. People are so afraid of this thing. You know what I mean? And we believe we had it, but we don't have the actual evidence.
I told him I probably gave it to him.
It's like we don't even know.
Yeah, we don't.
I doubt you gave it to him.
No, because that was
Months
all the
and
way
months
back
later.
in December.
Yeah, I'm joking.
But yeah, we appreciate you coming, man. Hopefully, we still didn't go too crazy on the conspiracies, right?
Nah.
Yeah.
Oh, should we put a couple of the slides up?
Yeah. Let's do that before we get out of here.
Quick.
Let's do that before we get out of here.
Look at those.
So let's explain this
got
a
the-
little bit.
Explain it first before we show these. Talk about what we about to show.
Okay, so I work in orthopedics, and the company I work for, they manufacture and distribute when you get a total knee replacement, shoulder, hip.
Oh, if you're
trauma.
squeamish, don't watch this.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of the easier.
Is that a knee right there?
That is a knee. So they've replaced the entire thing, and then they've also replaced part of the femur with that shaft that there you got.
Okay, so this right here is
That
this
is
femur,
That's the femur.
and
Yep.
this is the knee right here, and that's the joint right there.
That's the joint right there, and then the femur glides on the tibial augment or the tibial plate, which is that white piece of plastic there.
Wow.
It's made of like
Star
a
Wars,
polyurethane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Star Wars.
All right, let's check the next one. This one's a little grosser. What's that right there? What are we looking
Okay,
at?
so
It looks like
sent,
meat.
I sent this. This is with the knee open, and
Okay.
then when they
Yikes!
basically when they cut the ligaments that hold the tibia and the femur together, they cut the ligaments for exposure, and then they get to they get the two bones separated to start making the cuts, and then the next image is the knee.
Hold on, I got a question
It's like
first.
the same view, but it's replaced.
What is the deal with these lines here? Like, I understand this is where they made the incision along that line, but what are the lines going across?
The lines going across. It's usually just a grid. They'll have the lines for where it matches up with basically the X-ray and what they're able to see.
Because I was thinking, like, it don't look too precise. It looked like somebody just drew some lines.
Oh no, it's usually like landmark stuff. They'll have it contoured around like the patella and everything like that. And it basically so at that, and it's also so the lines they match back up together when they sew it back together.
Got
so
you.
it's
That
a
makes
better
sense.
scar.
That makes sense.
It's basically like a landmark thing.
Okay, let's move on because it gets crazy.
So that one.
Which
picture,
one are we going to?
There was a picture where it's like the same view.
This
There,
one?
yep.
Okay.
That's the same person's knee, but now with everything replaced.
Okay. So this is
you
the knee here?
Yep, that's the femur in there. What they do is there's all kinds of cut guides and everything where they cut the femur to basically fit that right on there. And same thing, they put a stem down the middle of the tibia, and there's like a tibia actually underneath that white piece of plastic that you're seeing there. It goes down. There's like a plate that goes down underneath that it sits on.
Wow.
And that's what it glides on, basically.
All right, now I got because you told me kind of what this was.
So this is why.
That right there.
So this is why
It makes it more real when you see the hand.
This
like,
is why you don't try to unjam a snowblower. The snowblower has to complete the. Jake didn't like that at all. So this is why you don't. This is why you don't try to unjam your own snowblower.
So he reached into the snowblower, it was jammed,
and it has to complete the revolution. I found this out after seeing like 8 of these. It has to complete the revolution once it's jammed, and people like you can take the cord off of like the spark plug and everything. It still has to complete the revolution.
Wow.
You can think you're being as safe as can be, and that thing.
So you take everything off and you reach in there thinking like, oh, it's not active now, and you reach in there, you unjam it, and that thing.
It's mid revolution. It still has to go. And
Stan, you have a snowblower.
Stan,
do not do this.
Take a good look, Stan.
And if you don't have good health insurance, they're not going to take the time to try and fix it that much. So that's what messed me up. I was in there and they cut this dude's hand off, and I didn't know it was going to happen, and it hit the floor and everything. And that was like the most barbaric stuff I ever seen. Like I seen several surgeries, but when that
saw his hand just fall on the floor,
like it literally like it hit the ground, and I heard the saw go, and then it hit the ground. And I just looked, and like it was just complete disregard. It was like, well, it wasn't working. Well, you know.
That's no good anymore.
And then they're like, he'll find out when he wakes up. I was like, oh my
crap.
God.
Wow.
So they couldn't reconnect it. So
yeah, because like the way I'm able to like stomach everything in there, like that stuff doesn't bother me, but like the trauma that you're seeing being done is gonna improve their life down the road. Mm-hmm. When it didn't work, and then they just cut this dude's hand off, that was just.
ugh.
That turned this surgeon that I seen do successful surgeries before. It turned him into this hero that he was. It turned him into like this horrible person. It was just messed up.
No.
Real messed up.
All right, roll this one up. What are we seeing here? Is this a knee again?
Yeah. So before they put the replacement parts on there, this is what they're using. You can see that is like a cut guide. It's attached to the femur. It has like slots in there, and those slots. It once it's hammered into the femur, those slots are used to basically square off the femur, so it'll fit the femur component over it. So
crazy,
it's basically
man.
like all those slots, and then you literally run. It's like an oscillating saw. It's no different than the one you would like do construction with. They're literally the same tools that they use in there for these surgeries. It's the same thing that you can go and get at Home Depot.
Modern medicine, man. What's this right here?
Okay, so this was.
Is that wrist we saw?
No, this wasn't
Okay.
even. This wasn't even the wrist.
Because I see the
This was a guy driving with his arm out the window and was T-boned.
Oh.
This one was really, really bad. They finished it all up. It ended up being like they said that he was going to need probably like another like 4 surgeries after like the big one, and it was basically just trying to save his hand. It was like 5 hours of them, like literally, it looked like little pieces of thread they were trying to put together, and there was like nerve endings.
Stephanie said, "Ouch."
Yeah, they said he probably won't even like be able to use most of his fingers again. Especially that one that's totally fused. The middle finger is totally fused.
Oh, that one right there. That's why
Which
they
is kind
put
of
that-
funny. It's literally going to be up all the time.
His middle finger is always going.
His middle finger will always be up.
And he always has to explain that everywhere he goes. Like,
Exactly.
listen, guys,
Exactly.
I'm not
don't
an
be
asshole.
offended. All right, now what's this right here? I
Okay, so
can't make this
that
out.
is a knee, and what they're doing is they're attaching. So the main thing with the surgery they're trying to do is they're trying to restore not only like the movement and everything, but they're trying to get it as close to how your other side works. They want to have it like basically restore movement and also keep symmetry and alignment. So that is actually a alignment rod where it's attached to the ankle and then it goes up to align with the tibia, and then there's a spike that goes in the tibia to make sure that it stays aligned, and this way you know exactly where it has to go back to.
Got you. That makes sense.
There's actually like I was trying to find clips, and then I found some stuff on like YouTube where you can just kind of see like some quick clips of like a hip replacement or something like that. It's pretty wild to see.
That's
or
a
even
knee.
like a knee. That's a knee, yeah. So they have the so they actually have the alignment guide in right now. That's what that spike is coming up at the top. And what that is doing is it's making sure that the degrees are correct and it's nice and like level basically. So this way, they're not like one side's not crooked or anything like that. It's very very specific.
Them things get heavy, yo. In them totes.
Oh yeah.
All right, that's it.
Yeah.
Man, that's interesting, though. So you see
love
that
it.
stuff every day.
Not every day, but a good bit. Yeah, good bit. There's been some wild stories. Wild stories. Like there's surgeons that like stuff. There might be like a mishap, and like they were doing this one guy's shoulder, and they nicked the artery. Oh. And it looked like a movie. Every time this dude's heart would beat, blood squirted 5 or 6 feet.
Oh
out of
my
this dude's
God.
shoulder.
Gosh.
And like they had to get a cardiologist in there, everything. Like it was like all hands on deck, and like it like the way that they're calling everybody in and everything like that, it seemed like I'm like, this dude's gonna die on the table.
Wow.
But like everybody came in, did their thing, and like they're just super lax. Like you could tell it's something they run into like a
Dude,
lot
it's
there.
crazy how they can like
I
really.
was like sitting there like hyperventilating. They were just doing their thing.
What was that one day? I was there one day, right?
Uh-huh.
And there was like a truck there, and he was like, "Yo, do you want it?" He's so excited. He's so excited.
Like, yo, you want to see a dead body?
You want to see a dead body? You want to see a dead a leg?
When are you gonna be able to see that?
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know, bro.
Yeah. So matter of fact, I can pull that up. It was weird, but yeah, it was a trailer, and they did a cadaver lab in this mobile surgical suite. It's in the back of this trailer.
Wow.
It's got like the whole surgical area, the bed, the prep area, everything, and it was literally just the pelvis down of a deceased woman.
Wow.
Basically. And they replaced both of her knees. They took the stuff back out, and literally it came in a box, like a normal box that looked like maybe like a water cooler or something like that.
Wow.
And it was weird. And then afterwards, we had to get it and put it back in this box and tape it up and put a return label on it, and it went to the airport. It was.
That is crazy. You never think about that. Like, how do they practice? How do they they have to do all that. Where do they get the bodies from? Like,
Okay,
crazy.
so I don't know how well.
Text it to me. Text it to
Yeah,
me.
text it to Jay.
It's
Yeah,
funny.
it's like how we practice on the pigs and the frogs and
Yeah.
stuff. They're doing it on
You have
real
to.
human legs.
You have to. Yeah.
You should be getting it soon. I just seen it. It's like 3 of them. It's the box that came in, and then it's like 2 of them just like set up.
Okay. See once it comes through.
Slow.
Yeah. Melanie said, "Love it." LOL.
I don't, Melanie.
It looks like it's like barely going through. It's like literally like stuck right before the end.
Yeah, there's something going on, like with
At the internet?
'Cause I'm trying to pull something up and it won't let me.
You trying to pull up?
Something from my wife, actually.
Oh.
My tax information. She's texting me about it.
Well, while we're waiting for that.
Okay, you know what? I think it just went through.
Oh, yep, got it.
All right, cool.
Oh yeah, that was the leg I saw.
Yeah. Yeah. Moon stopped. I'm like, yo. I'm like, I had to say it. I'm like, yo, you want to see a dead body?
So that's a dead leg
That's
right
the
there.
dead leg. Well, both of the legs, but yeah, that's
Yeah,
the one leg.
right,
That's the one
right.
leg strapped in, and that's the leg holder that is used in surgery to put it in place.
So
and
it's
have it
wrapped
bent
in
to the
like
right
some
spot.
kind of material there. When they ship it that way, it's wrapped up like that, or
No, so that was actually like that's the skin pigment.
no? I'm talking about the blue.
Oh yeah. It was wrapped up.
Okay, so they
I
just
guess somebody donates their
Yeah.
leg. Like,
Yeah.
And they survive the science.
yeah.
Yeah, donate to science.
Wow.
And then after you're done, that's why it's got to go back to the airport because then it's sent back to be cremated or whatever to be put with the rest of the remains.
Wow.
But yeah, that's it. Pelvis down came with like a label slap, like you're buying a rotisserie chicken from the.
Oh, that's how it came in a box like that?
Yeah. I had no idea what it was. It was next to my desk for about 2 hours. I had no idea what it was. I was going to open it. Thank God I got busy.
you ever deliver something like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Horror movies kind of get it kind of close when they.
Yeah, we're like, oh, that looks fake.
Wow.
The weirdest part was like afterwards. It's like, all right, just throw it back in the box and tape it up real good. I was just like, I feel like this is so wrong.
Yeah. It's weird, man.
Something ain't right.
Yeah. Science. All right, cool. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We appreciate everybody watching. Thank you again, Chuck, man.
Thanks,
We
man.
hope to have you back soon.
Yeah, for sure.
Stephanie
for sure,
said,
guys.
"Thank you for sharing."
Oh, no problem, Steph.
Yeah, she enjoyed it.
That's good.
Melanie, too. Yeah, so we'll have you back on whenever, man. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So much stuff to talk about. Appreciate everybody watching. And remember, if you're we ain't on YouTube today, but go to YouTube, subscribe, all that stuff. What are we showing? Oh, there's the YouTube channel there. Good, there she's ready. Yeah, go to our YouTube and subscribe over there. We're trying to get more people to subscribe on our YouTube channel because we don't know how long we can trust Facebook. So we got to be as many places as possible. And also, if you want to support, if you like what we're doing, if you like what we talk about, and you agree with what we have to say, you can become a member on our Patreon, patreon.com/youngliontv. And you can also support by streaming our music, and always sharing the video helps anytime you do that. But we'll see you guys again next week, God willing. God bless everybody. We're out of here.
Young lion go live, yeah. Young lion you rich, yeah. This kingdom has room, yeah.